I'm Bill McWilliam, President of Cascadero Copper, CCD on the TSX Venture Exchange. Cesium is one of the world's rarest metals with a growing industrial demand. Drilling is underway on our Tehran property in Argentina to prove up a cesium resource. Cascadero's patent-pending leach process has the potential to make Cascadero the lowest cost supplier of cesium in the world. Visit our website, cascadero.com, or phone us at 604-924-5504.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Michael Easton. He's the editor and founder of EastonSpectator.com, the blog Easton Spectator Connecting the Dots. Welcome back to the show, Michael.
It's a pleasure to be here and talking with you again, Jim.
We're a couple of old-time radio guys, but I don't think we go as far back as one of your house guests for the last few days. Can you tell us about Mad Mel?
Oh, well, Mad Mel, it's an incredible, he's a radio icon, and he was visiting me 4 days last week, and we were going over air checks, which he has, and I will be digitizing. Just a short history about Mad Mel. Him and his friend Rob Scoop Shovel were the first and only, really, pirate radio station in Canada that was broadcasting daily, selling airtime to clients. What they did is they set up a storefront window out of the old Metropolitan store on Douglas at Yates, which is now the Shoppers Drug Mart. And it was a console in the window called Kitten, K-I-T-N radio. They were using BC Tel microwave system, which was on top of the old TD building, boomed over to Port Angeles, and then wired to KONP, 1450 AM on the dial, where they broadcast daily from 4 until 8 o'clock. Now, KONP has an incredible signal to be picked up in Victoria, probably just beyond Elk Lake. But I mean, it covered what they wanted it to. I think parts of the Mellahap would pick them up. But they were on the air for about, I would say about a year and a half, and needless to say, the state radio stations at that time, CJVI, CKDA, and CFAX, they were not happy with Mad Mel and Kitten, and they were doing everything in their power to try and shut them down. But so anyhow, eventually they did shut down Mad Mel. Then, what a confidence builder Mad Mel is, because he ended up going to Australia, and how he got there, he had a medical aid band which he was using on the ship. He was practically a doctor. The guy's a genius, really. When he got to Australia, it was in Sydney, he went to the 5 radio stations there and shot the proposal that, hey, put me on the air and I'll make your radio station number 1. Well, it was the station 5th in the market. They hired him, and sure enough, they became number 1. Now, Mad Mel was friends of the Beatles. He was friends with the Beach Boys. In fact, there's one audio tape here. You can hear the Beach Boys on stage, and all of a sudden they're shouting out, "Mad Mel is back." It's like they idolized Mad Mel, and it was incredible. You have to listen to these audios. Another one is Gene Pitney, the late Gene Pitney, who sang songs, made up songs. I've got the tape here. It's about half hour of Gene Pitney singing "Mad Mel is a Nut" and other. It was great. But he also interviewed the late Del Shannon, and there's about an hour tape on that. And what a story. He mixed it all in together and became good friends with these fellas, in particular Del Shannon. And, of course, Del Shannon took his own life. I guess it was later. According to Mad Mel, he said that Del suffered depression, and he had hoped to join the Traveling Wilburys. I don't know if you recall them. That consisted of Roy Orbison, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, and George Harrison. And after Roy Orbison died, Del figured he was a shoo-in, but it never happened. I don't know if that had a big influence on his latter days, but it's lots of great entertainment, and I'm hoping to get these all digitized and put them up on Puget Sound Radio. Just a note here, and I should not forget, is that while Mel was in Australia, he had, I don't know whether he had sent a tape to Red Robinson, who was then the PD at CFUN 1410, and he was hired by Red, and they brought him over. And I remember when his debut, it was Mad Mel was in a cage up in the North Vancouver, and they were bringing him down the mountain, and eventually he gets to the studio, and of course one of the promo skits that he's got is, "Okay, Mel, you can come out of your cage now." And it's all on tape, and I certainly look forward to sharing this. What a joy it was to have Mad Mel here for the last week. That's my exciting story on that one.
We'll have more with Michael Easton right after the break.
Gem International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond-producing country in Africa, located next to the fourth largest producing diamond mine in the world. International Spotlight is on an 1109-carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. Gem International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
Lotus Ventures Inc. is a BC-based medical marijuana company poised to launch into the rapidly evolving cannabis sector. Lotus is in the final review stage of the Health Canada approvals to become a licensed producer, having arranged facility financing of up to $12 million, plus building permits for its prototype indoor production facility. Shares trade under the symbol J on the Canadian Securities Exchange. Visit our website at lotusventures.ca.
Welcome back. We're chatting with Michael Easton. Michael, the BC Civil Liberties Association is really worried about new national security legislation the Trudeau government is proposing. They've already gone on record as being against the current legislation, which pretty well allows them to dip into anything private. Are you concerned about our privacy quickly disappearing?
Oh, of course I am. I think I'm more concerned with losing our freedom of speech, and that seems to be the way our federal government is going right now, especially with their legislations. And is it Bill M103?
Could be.
Yeah. Okay. I mean that's what disturbed me on that is that not just the Liberals voted for it, but the NDP voted for it, and I believe there was a number of Conservatives which also voted for it. So I'm really concerned with what's going on federally in politics in this country.
Now, of course, there are some interviews I can't run from the United States because they say certain words or talk about certain subjects that I am not confident that I could actually run without being in violation of these new laws.
I don't think that it affects. I mean, you're not on any terrestrial radio stations, correct?
That doesn't matter, though. If you say it in Canada, you're liable to the legislation. It's not the same as using bad language. What we're talking about, certain issues, if you bring them up, Muslim, Christian, Jewish issues, you can be charged with, disseminating hate crime or hate language.
Yeah, that's what this
So
is
you
about.
can't talk about the issues because you're not sure by just merely discussing the issues, you might be subject to charges under this law.
Well, I think it's about time that we in the West dropped these guys and became a country unto ourselves. I'm really getting fed up with what's going on federally. I mean, the man that's our prime minister, he's not a nationalist. He's a globalist, just like his daddy was, who was incidentally a member of the Club of Rome, who was quite responsible for that United Nations bill, Agenda 21, which is now I think Agenda 2030. But I mean, you wanna get a little concerned. You get into that document. That's very concerning, and I can see how it's become applicable not just federally, but locally and localized governments, which is most concerning.
And I also know college professors who teach law, philosophy, other subjects, very concerned about this legislation as well. Again, part of the upper education system is to discuss issues facing your nation, facing the world, and being able to talk about them. But now they're worried if they bring up certain subjects and accidentally drop a certain word or two or phrase something in a certain way, they're worried that the Mounties are going to come in and haul them out in chains.
Well, that's concerning. Even myself with my own website, Easton Spectator. I mean, I'll tell you right now that I'm sure that I upset a lot of apple carts with what I publish. I mean, these are stories that you won't read in mainstream media at all. So, just take a glance at that. So, am I under threat to being shut down or charged?
Well, they don't tell you that they're investigating you until they knock on the door, or more likely pound on it with a sledgehammer or a battering ram, scream search warrant, and come in and haul you out. That's your first notice you'll ever get that you're under investigation. Yeah,
exactly. Concerning it is.
We'll have more with Michael Easton right after this.
I'm Brian Fowler, president of Blind Creek Resources Limited, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, ticker symbol BCK. Blind Creek is focused in the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia. The company's key property is the Blend Project, one of the largest undeveloped lead-zinc-silver deposits in Western Canada, plus plans to advance the recently acquired, fully permitted historic engineer gold mine in the Atlan District of Northwestern BC. Check us out at blindcreekresources.com.
In Goddard we trust.
Welcome back. We're chatting with Michael Easton. Michael, you're saying on your website that the Libertarian Party in Canada received a big boost when Maxime Bernier lost the Conservative Party leadership race to Mr. Scheer. I interviewed Maxime, and I'm telling you, he seemed to me one of the most enlightened politicians I have talked to in decades, who wants personal freedom. He thinks it's up to people to decide what's good, what's bad for you and your family, get the government out of it. Governments should only be there to look after things that regulate safety. Apart from that, free enterprise, let it roll. It seemed that he was very much a libertarian, and mysteriously he lost by a number of votes that exceeded the number of conservatives or conservative members who voted. Yet he's not challenging it. He says he doesn't want to rock the boat. But anyway, saying...
let's stop right there. You must understand that final ballot, all the votes were destroyed.
Yes. How
convenient. There was no recount. It's not that Scheer wasn't popular. He was, but I think Bernier, he had it. It just something amiss there. I really didn't feel very comfortable about that at all. No, it's the same old. I would love to see Maxime Bernier run as with the Libertarians. That would shake things up. Would it split the vote? Probably. But I mean, do you think that Andrew Scheer's, if he went it alone, is he going to overtake the Trudeau Liberals in the next federal election?
Well, one thing Scheer has going for him is his youth and his smile. By the way, look at the conservative ads. Look at the conservative ads saying Trudeau just not old enough or mature enough to run for the job. Well, Scheer is just a baby compared to Justin.
Hey, you know what's the winning feature him? His dimples.
He has a nice smile.
Yes, he does.
And and he doesn't look like a guy who would shy away from taking a selfie with his constituents.
Oh man, what a joke it is in Ottawa right now, eh?
Well,
I mean, the Prime Minister won't even answer questions. I mean, it's so bizarre, and the lies, unreal. Are you familiar with Spencer Fernando?
Tell us about him.
Well, I believe he was on City Council in Winnipeg, and he was also involved with the Palliser Conservatives, but to some degree. But he's a journalist. He's very involved politically, and he certainly is not favoring Justin or the federal Liberals. We've been carrying Spencer's articles on Easton Spectator, and hey, if you haven't caught them, please do. And they're linked directly to Spencer's website. But he's very active. He may write 4 or 5 articles a day. I can't keep up with them. I'd love to carry them all, but I'll pick out ones that, yes, this one's gonna go, this one fits, and no, he's a fella that I think would be great to talk with.
Getting back to freedom of speech, Canadians probably don't realize that there are so many laws, pertaining to what you can say and what you can talk about and what kind of penalties you might face if you bring them up. And I'm not talking about fervent, attack this person or this group or this religion or this political entity. You just may accidentally slip and say it, and if the wrong person or maybe, quote, the right person hears it, you could end up in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, we're certainly in interesting times, Jim, and not the best times.
I know the U.S. Supreme Court just made an important decision saying it's okay to use a so-called racist or derogatory term in the name of your company or your band. And I'm not going to repeat those names here because, again, I don't want to run into trouble with the Mounties. Yeah. That's how scary it is.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you.
And I find in Canada, the Supreme Court tends to favor the government more often than not and not the Constitution or the Charter of Rights. Whereas in the U.S., it doesn't matter if it's conservative judges or not. They still believe in their Constitution. Exactly.
And I think that's one of the things that Americans, overall, they do believe in their Constitution. And that's why, Donald Trump was elected president. That had a large part to do with it.
I would like to see Canadian MPs swear an oath of allegiance not to the Queen, not that there's anything wrong with Her Majesty, but how about an oath of allegiance like American politicians do to uphold and protect their Constitution, and also here in Canada, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms?
Yeah, that's an idea.
Michael, great as always talking with you.
Thank you so much, Jim, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.
And happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm going to be 70 next week.
You're 50 plus shipping and handling.
Thank you very much, Jim.
My guest has been Michael Easton, editor and founder of the EastonSpectator.com. You're listening to the Goddard Report on TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet. Our very popular YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Questions for the show or our guests can be emailed to info@howstreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at talkdigitalnetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.